Welcome to the ramen show. Today we're gonna do mee goreng. We're gonna crinkle things. So let's read. Okay, it's from Thailand. It says it's from Bangkok. We're gonna make it today. Let's read the directions. Put the noodles and dehydrate vegetable in the bowl. Pour in 1 3/4 cups of boiling water, and we're gonna simmer 4 minutes and stir occasionally. So like the pitcher has like a stove safe bowl, and I definitely don't have one of those, because how do you simmer it? I mean, steep would make sense, but how do you continue to add heat to the bowl and simmer it? It looks like it's on a stove. Anyway, step 2 is to remove the noodles from water and drain well. And then you're gonna add noodles to bowl, another bowl, second bowl. That one doesn't look stove safe. We're gonna stir through seasoning mix. We're gonna stir right through the seasoning mix. Punch a big hole in that seasoning mix. Just stir right through it. Now delicious and appetizing noodles is ready for serving. They don't mention the part where I guess there's an egg in here. I don't know. And we're gonna have an egg on there, and there's 2 whole shrimp, sorry. And that's not really in the directions, but it is in the finished picture. Anyway, let's make the ramen. So let's pop this badasker open, see what's inside. Heavily scrutinize all the ingredients. A standard brick of ramen here. I'm just setting it right on the counter. I'm the only one who's eating this. This is what you really judge, is like the more separate packets of different ingredients there are in the ramen, the better the ramen usually is. And the less comprehensible what they are before you use them are, usually the better the ramen is. So this is a good sign. We have a goopy feeling, totally unlabeled white packet. Probably some kind of flavored oil in that. We got freeze-dried vegetables. Okay. It looks like 7 pieces of corn. 7 pieces of corn. I counted them. Got a seasoning pack, and we got another seasoning pack also. What did the directions say? I don't remember there being all this stuff. It only mentions the seasoning pack. You just stir through seasoning mix. So I guess you throw the rest of this stuff out. So we're just gonna take, this is probably the seasoning pack, I'm gonna say. So we're just gonna throw the rest of this stuff in the garbage. Since it's not in the directions. They probably sent us that by accident. They did include their address, so we could probably mail it back to them. Actually, I made that up. I'm gonna put all this stuff in and see what happens. Okay, guys, I just realized that I made a mistake, because there's a word about dehydrate. Okay, I'm sorry. It says to put the noodles and dehydrate vegetable in the bowl. So if we were gonna throw something out, it would just be this, assuming it's not the seasoning packet, and then this goop. If we're just gonna put it in anyway. Yep, sorry anyway, that was just a quick retraction. I was wrong before. All right, it was 1 3/4 of a cup, which is 400 milliliters of water. We're gonna fill it up with the water. Okay. All right. That's looking good. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. We're not even close to ready. The president of Thailand, who these noodles are made by, don't believe me? Yes, the president of Thailand didn't warn me. Well, they did. It was right on the package. I was going to need a bowl that I could simmer. But anyway, I felt surprised. You got to do what you got to do. I couldn't figure. I don't have a stove-safe bowl, so I couldn't boil the water. I couldn't figure. I don't have a stove-safe bowl, so I couldn't boil the water on the noodles, and then also keep adding heat to simmer it for 4 more minutes. And then also my hands were tied. They're fucking tied. Okay. So my hands were no choice. I forgot a lid for this pot. So this is a cooking show, and here's your cooking tip of the day. If you put a lid on a pot, it'll make the food taste better. Especially during this phase when you're heating up the water. Just a culinary tip. It's kind of like salt. It makes food taste more like itself because it traps all the food flavors inside the pot so that they can't evaporate away. So yeah, that's your cooking. I'm gonna dose these out really slow. You only get one cooking tip per episode. That way you have to watch them all. So that's your only cooking tip for today. And yes, let's tape this whole thing until the water comes up to a boil. All right, we're putting the noodles in. We're gonna put the noodles in carefully. Do they fit? Oh God. Oh, do they fit? Oh God. So if you're an expert like me, then you know that sometimes you just have to shove stuff down. Oh, I gotta start a timer. I forgot. Okay, Google. Set a timer for 4 minutes. I'm feeling really pessimistic about this ramen. It seems like too much noodle, not enough water. Oh my God, I forgot to dehydrate vegetables. Oh. This ramen's gonna be ruined. So we're like a minute into cooking at this point. So either the noodles are gonna be overcooked by 1 minute, or the dehydrate vegetables are gonna be under rehydrate by 1 minute. I'm sorry to all my subscribers out there. Oh my gosh. Am I supposed to have this covered when I simmer it? Is the flame even still on? Cooking's hard. I hope this makes you feel more comfortable about cooking. Usually bowls, here's my theory on this, okay? I'm supposed to be doing this in a bowl, and bowls usually don't come with fitted lids. So I'm gonna say that I'm supposed to do this uncovered. Another reason this is not a faithful review is that I didn't actually get all the noodles into the pot. I left several all over the counter. So, I feel like usually, here's how it works, okay? Like with garlic, when you get a bulb of garlic with really small cloves, you can use the same number of cloves than if you had big cloves, because the smaller it is, the more garlicky it'll taste. And it's the same way with noodles. If you have these noodle fragments in the ramen, I would say probably the lion's share, like 90% of the ramen noodle flavor actually comes from these small pieces. Probably this piece right here. You see how it's curly like that? So this one right alone is probably like 40% of the total like ramen flavor in the whole package. So anyway, if you want to hear more tips like this, make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Thanks. So I'm going from memory here, folks, but I think the next step was to drain the noodles. Got one of those cool strainer pots for this. One time I was doing this and the lid fell off and everything went in the sink with a bunch of dirty dishes, and I was so mad, you guys. It was like one of the worst days of my life. I was with a bunch of spaghetti noodles, I think. And now you know the story of the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. Okay. We're going to add noodles to bowl. We're going to remove noodles from water and drain well. We did that. And then we're going to add noodles to bowl and stir through everything else. And I don't know what this stuff is. It doesn't say to put it in at any point. I don't know. It might be like for your skin or something, but we're going to put it in. It doesn't smell like a skin product. I know you can't smell through the video, so it smells like food. I'm just going to leave it at that. It seems oily and unctuous. This is the technique right here. I learned it shooting dope. That's how you get all the powder to one end of the bag before you open it, so you don't waste any. Okay. And you put that in like that. And this is the other trick. That's how you get the last of it out of the bag. And then just do another one. It works on any size bag as long as it's full of powder. A lot of people don't know that about bags, but you can do this to all of them. You just wiggle it and you just hit it, and then you do this, and then you give it the little finger swipe. See, you got to add it slowly for like the maximum effect, like that. And now everything's in it. I didn't have any of my utensils ready. I guess it shows chopsticks in the picture. So we're going to do it with chopsticks. This is a weird ramen because, like, It feels weird. I'm just supposed to stir it up like this, and there's like no fluid in it. It's just the noodles and like the ingredients. I don't think I've ever had one where there was like no water that went with it, like no broth. I mean, yeah, even in the picture, I forgot to fry a fucking egg. All right, we're just gonna eat the ramen plain today. Actually, know what? No, we're better than this. Come with me, folks. All right. Don't, I guess, look in the fridge, but don't judge me based on what you see there. Okay. Oh my God. Where does everything go? All right. So, I've been growing some scallions in the fridge for just such an occasion, and we're gonna class this up a little bit. All right, come on over. Well, so these are I grew these from seed in the jar, and we're gonna add it to our ramen, which then we're gonna eat out of the pot, just like Johnny Appleseed would have done in the early days of the American frontier. I know this is a comically small knife. It's just the first one. It's not very sharp. So this is how you cut a scallion, is you cut it like this, okay? And then you peel back the slimy parts. And you cut it like this. And you use like your knuckles as a fulcrum. And it doesn't matter how many scallion pieces you need. The rule is that you cut up the whole thing like this. You just keep cutting and cutting. No matter how much you actually need, you cut the whole thing like this, and you just persevere no matter what. No matter how mushy it gets, no matter how dull your knife is, no matter how many strings of like not fully separated scallions you've left in the wake of your knife, you just keep cutting, and you keep cutting and cutting, and you keep cutting, and you cut, 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 until you get to the crispy part at the end, and then you discard that, but that's the only part. And then what happens is you use what you need and you leave the rest out on the cutting board for several days with the knife, just like that. And then you find it like 3 days later when you need more scallions and you get all mad because you wasted scallions and your knife's not clean and so on and so forth. And then you try to like make the best of a bad situation by like going back over your work and like fixing it. And like it kind of works, but you're also like really conscious of how much time you're wasting and how cold your food's getting. God forbid if you're cooking for other people and they're just watching you fiddle with this shit they're not even going to put on their food. Like they're not going to put it on there because it just seems like bourgeois, right? Like nobody else is even going to put any scallions on their food, and they're just watching, and you're like not letting them eat. You're not going to let them eat till you're done with this. And that's part of it, and it makes them hungrier, and then the food tastes better. Oh, it's kind of stuck in there. There's more onions in here than would really be appropriate for a review of this product. So again, make sure that you have your own scallion farm in your fridge. And we are going to try this. So are we going to try this? Are we going to look at my face while I put this in my face? It's, I forgot to mention the bag said this was Oriental style, which is like the most vague description for ramen pretty much imaginable. It smells kind of soy saucy. It's still probably too hot to eat, but let's try it. That's pretty good. It's a lot spicier than I thought it would be. just based on the smell. And it kind of tastes like soy sauce and spice and rehydrate vegetables. Would I buy this again? It was 40 cents. So yeah, I would.